just like everybody else, shocked, upset, trying to figure out what we'll do as a pastime for the rest of the winter.
For Jeff Brereton, snowmobiling has been a generational thing for his family, as his kids are about as avid as he is. Yes, you can go snowmobiling on lakes, but you can't go on OFSC trails. And North Bay, Parry Sound is the only region right now where you can't do that. And Brereton, like many, can't understand why. The contention from Dr. Jim Cherico, the medical officer of health, is that sledders are coming from southern Ontario and could be bringing the virus north.
But what's happening now is, like, other trail clubs are open. Like, they're not coming north anymore. They're going to stay in their own districts and ride from their own back door. They're not driving 3 hours to come to North Bay to ride around our trails and interact with us. They're more likely to stay at home with themselves.
But there are people who do come up here. I bumped into a few people a few weeks ago who come up from Toronto, for whatever that's worth, to snow here, because people are searching for snow.
Yes, they absolutely are. Not very many. Like, usually, you drive downtown, you look at the parking lots of hotels and stuff, and they're jam-packed with trucks and trailers from the south. This year I paid really close attention to what was going on. Saw very, very little in the way of trucks and trailers parked at hotels, if any at all.
Brereton's 2 children also enjoy themselves when they go snowmobiling. They've been doing it since, well, they were very young. And yes, they can go on the lake, but it's not the same as going on a trail.
It's just frustrating on how you can't, like, go out and just do your own thing that you love to do.
Do you think this is necessary that they shut down the trails?
No, not really, because, this is probably the only thing that you're most social distance of.
For me, it's just enjoyable. I just like to drive around on something, and finally I got my snowmobile license, but then like a week after, they just shut the trails down on me, so.
Being out in the wilderness and seeing beautiful things and doing whatever else. Lakes are great, but you can only go so far in a lake, and quite often lakes can be dangerous. There's creeks and streams and ice blocks.
And Brereton says the closure of the trails goes far beyond simply a hobby.
Absolutely. Restaurants, hotels, gas stations, like it is a trickle-down effect. Thank God.
That's Jeff Brereton, unable to hold back his enthusiasm. 1 minute past midnight on this Monday morning. Trails within our health unit district, OFSC trails in our health unit district, they are open and ready to go. It's cause for celebration.
It is about time. Don't tell their mother, but I'm taking the kids out of school a little early today. Everybody's chomping at the bit. I'm surprised that I haven't seen 15 cars leaving the Portage parking lot with snowmobiles on the back of them. North Bay is the hub. Like, this is all trails central through North Bay to go north. You can go from here to Cochrane, Timmins, Hearst, Quebec, wherever you want, pretty much in Northern Ontario.
If I was a betting man, I would say that Sean Flindle, president of the North Bay Snowmobile Club, has been on every kilometer of trails in the OFSC system. He's a happy camper on this Monday.
Sledheads are pretty excited today. It's been a long 4 weeks of incredibly perfect weather for snowmobiling and any outdoor sport, actually. But it's been a long haul, and we're pretty excited to have trails open today for sure.
The old expression goes, beggars can't be choosers, so the snow is falling, that's good. The temperature is rising for the next couple of days, that's bad.
Yeah, so we're looking at this very optimistically. It's been a long 4 weeks, as I mentioned, and people are very excited to get out there. But from the looks of your weather forecast, we've got to get through a couple days of mild weather, and then it looks like we're back into it on the weekend. For snowmobiling, these cold nights that we've had are so good to set the groomed trails up. So it has really been great weather for making the trails exceptionally smooth. So I think it looks like we're going to get back into that on the weekend. So everybody's pretty pumped.
The payoff for your dedicated volunteers for spending hours and hours in a machine to groom them is to see people enjoy them, and that hasn't been happening over the past week. So how dedicated are your volunteers to weather this tough storm?
Yeah, I'm going to give a couple shout outs. I'll give a shout out to our volunteers and the groomers, because they are so dedicated, and they literally spend 8 and 10 hour days in those groomers, and they have been equally as committed during this time, so that we're ready for when the green light comes, so that we were ready to go, and we are. When we got the green light, we were fully ready to go. So a big shout out to those guys. A big shout out also to the local riders who have obeyed the no ride order, and it's a challenging thing for riders to do, because we have hundreds of thousands of dollars tied up in snowmobiling. Snowmobiles are $15,000 or $20,000 these days. It's not like when I started and you can buy a sled for $3,000. So people have got a lot of money tied up in these things, and they've been wanting to ride, but they've done a really great job of obeying the rules and staying off the trails during this time.
Much more with Mr. Flindle tomorrow on Coach Go News, including safety tips before hopping on your sled. Reporting for Coach Go News, I'm Clark Hyper.